If you couldn't guess by my choice of campaign endorsements, I'm a member of the Democratic Party. I believe in profitable safekeeping for everyone, not just the top 5%. I believe that giving tax dollars to the wealthy doesn't generate jobs for the rest of us. I believe that no one should go bankrupt, lose their life savings, or die from lack of health care. I believe that our children should feel secure in schools and that the government should look after their safety. I believe in basing your opinions, beliefs, and values on reason, evidence, and compassion, not on fear, anger, or ignorance. I believe that each human being, regardless of ethnicity, gender identity, race, or sexual orientation, be worthy of respect and equal rights. I am a member of the Democratic Party. I have had many experiences and shifts in beliefs in regarding to politics. I am from a long line of self-employed trade workers and small business owners. When I was younger, I was taught that real Americans vote Republicans into office. Real Americans vote Republican to keep the Democrats from adding taxes onto the people who actually work for a living. They vote Republican to keep the government's hands out of our business and they vote Republican to stop handing welfare to the people who sit at home and are too lazy to work. That belief changed when I hit the real world. The military chewed me up and spit me out at 21, and my successful family members were nowhere to be found. I had PTSD, could barely hold down a job, and before I knew it, I was pregnant. At first, I was too proud to apply for help. I kept working 2 jobs to get health insurance because real Americans pull themselves up by their bootstraps and keep working. Working overtime when you're 3 months pregnant with morning sickness, fatigue, and on your feet for 12 plus hours a day takes a whole toll on you. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps ran through my head all day, every day. When I left my employer to have my baby, my insurance lapsed. Too poor for COBRA, I had to apply for Medicaid. My entire life, I was told that welfare was for freeloaders and that only loser Democrats live off the government. Let me tell you, Medicaid saved my skin. I walked out of the hospital with no bills, surprisingly, when I knew people who had to file for bankruptcy for the healthcare costs in the birth of their child. As a single mother on public aid, I would receive dirty looks when paying for food with food stamps and get denied healthcare service when I was on the medical card. I started to realize that America is really only great for the rich people or the people in power, and that I needed to join a political party that sees those disenfranchised people and lifts them up to the same level of the prosperous and secure. Now, I know that there are stereotypes that exist about the Democratic Party today. In PewResearch.org's article, Partisan Stereotypes, Views of Republicans and Democrats as Neighbors, many Republicans associate negative characteristics about members of the Democratic Party. The research suggests that members of the GOP think Democrats are lazy, immoral, and dishonest, while calling themselves hardworking, moral, and honest. Although I think that there are dishonest politicians on both sides, I can see why negative stereotypes exist in the Democratic Party. 4 out of the last 10 Democratic governors in Illinois have ended in federal prison. And in February 2020, it marked the first time in almost 5,000 days that an Illinois governor was not in the Bureau of Prison Systems related to corruption charges. However, Democrats have been drafting legislation to throw corruption out the window. Elizabeth Warren drafted the Anti-Corruption and Public Integrity Act that would ban stock ownerships by members of Congress, ban lobbying as we know it, and boost transparency and close loopholes for the culture of corruption. In the 2018 midterms, Democrats made history by causing a blue wave and gaining control of the Republican-held federal House of Representatives. NPR.org wrote that their symbolic first act was H.R. 1, a sweeping anti-corruption bill that expands laws on voting and election interference, campaign finance, and ethics laws. Now, I'll have to admit Joe Biden was not my first choice to battle Trump in November. I was an enthusiastic Elizabeth Warren supporter. As you can see by my coffee mug that I bought from her campaign that says, "I'm drinking billionaire tears." But however you expected the primaries to turn out, the current Democratic Party is uniting together in 2020, and it is inspiring. The policies of a Democratic president would benefit me directly and would most likely benefit you as well. So I want to bring awareness to what Joe is running on to help everyone make a more informed decision in November. I also want to hopefully inspire other non-voters to exercise their civic duty, and then they can motivate someone else, and then they can motivate someone else, and then we can have another blue wave. Together, we can vote for politicians and policies that make the government work for us, not the other way around. Now, on joebiden.com, there is a convenient section called Joe's Vision that outlines his strategy on helping America become a place of equality, sanctuary, and success. The plans that would affect me directly is making public education debt-free, including community college, and forgiving up to $35,000 in student loan debts. Women's issues are also important to me. Biden would also make sure that women of all ages are supported with funding for the Violence Against Women Act and establishing a safety net for survivors of gender-based violence. He has laid out comprehensive plans that help every American. Plans for COVID relief, encouraging and empowering workers, ending gun violence, and giving everyone access to affordable health care would benefit everyone. Biden has also pledged to make a historic investment into our clean energy future as a nation to face the threats of climate change, an issue that affects not only every American, but every human being on Earth. Democrat.org's Democratic Party preamble states that, above all, Democrats are the party of inclusion. We know that diversity is not our problem, it is our promise. As Democrats, we respect differences of perspective and belief and pledge to work together to move this country forward, even when we disagree. With this platform, we do not merely seek common ground, we strive to reach higher ground. Together, we can vote for politicians and policies that make the government work for us, not the other way around. The Democratic Party's culture in 2020 is inviting, inclusive, and innovative. By helping to make people aware of the cultural shift in politics, we can build a better society together. As the days to November 2020 fall into double digits, I urge you to ask yourself, who will really make America great?